Let's talk about fall camp. I know, shoot, it's going to come around a lot quicker than you think. How are things going? And, of course, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about how the quarterback position is looking as well.
Yeah, I think it's coming along. We've grown a lot, really, from spring to summer to fall, and I'm excited about the progress that we've made, and the work capacity that we've put into this has continuously grown, and there's obviously been highlights from certain position groups that have taken a jump, and yeah, we're collectively out here trying to work to get better day to day and not really worried about things that are 2 weeks away, just trying to make the daily goal to, you know, be better than you were yesterday and match the intensity in which you had the day prior. So for me, it's been a battle for the quarterback position. I think those guys are deserving of the reps that they've got and the ability to showcase their talent. It's also hard with 4 quality quarterbacks to choose, you know, pick which one. And they're making it extremely hard on all of us. And there's been flashes day to day by each individual player or segments. And then there's been days where they haven't played the best or made the best decisions inside of a situation. So we're working through grading everybody and making sure that they all have a good amount of reps with, you know, the one O-line and potentially the one wide receivers. And that group is still battling themselves, who are the ones. So I feel good about our competitive depth right now, and that's what it should feel like. That's when you know you have a solid team ahead of you. It's hard to make a decision if you had to pick one. So that's overall the goal and why we brought in 2, and I'm excited for the future of what we can be.
I know in the spring I asked you about if it mattered with the guys who stayed, how they've helped kind of mesh with the guys who came in and whatnot. And I know you said a whole lot about those guys who have stayed have helped kind of build a little bit of the culture as well. I know it's been a mix, but I guess like guys like Josh Meredith who are 5th years or that have been here for so long. What has a guy like him or any of those 5th years or any of the seniors done for, you know, trying to establish a culture like you're trying to do?
Yeah, Josh has been vital ever since the first phone call I had with him. I'm not, you know, dumb to think that he might not was thinking about transferring too, but obviously he made the decision. He wanted to finish out his career here as a Coug, and I felt like of the wide receivers that were returning, he was obviously the most productive player that we had, and I knew he would have a voice, but in getting to know him, he's a quiet leader that works his butt off, and if you see him out here, he really never takes a day off physically and just rest. And his overall work capacity is something that I inspire the whole wide receiver group to be, and he's a great leader in there. And I'm excited for what he can do because he got faster this offseason. He gained around 10 pounds of weight and looks better, and he's been able to stretch the field on us. So I'm excited for Josh. He's been a great leader here. He has, you know, done a really good job of accepting a new coaching staff for what is, you know, multiple times in a row for him. And then he's done a great job as far as being able to mend relationships between initially 2 teams.
How big is it? And I know I don't love to talk about the transfer portal all that much and whatnot. And I know you're a guy that would love to develop players and whatnot. How big, though, has your job changed from having to be I know you're a football coach, but having to be, you know, I got to talk to the Coug Collective, or I got to talk to the boosters, the donors or something. Has that part of your job changed like you didn't think it would happen when you started coaching?
I think as time has evolved, just college football has evolved, and you need to adjust with it. That's part of being, you know, part of my job as a head coach is adjusting and being able to make the correct decision on the move and make the best decision for the football program, solving problems constantly, right? I wouldn't say meeting with donors is that hard. I'm kind of am who I am, and just like to meet, you know, new faces and support that is making an impact here at Washington State. As far as the transfer portal, you know, the hardest part about this job is you never know who's going to leave and why they're leaving. You know, sometimes you can see it on people, but you know, maybe some guys just fall out of love with football, or they want a bigger role and they're not willing to work through the tough times in order to get there. And so they're seeking a different opportunity, and you had a role for them in your mind of how they were progressing and could see a role for them for the future. So, yeah, college football's changing, and you have to be able to adapt and make the best of what your roster is at the current moment. And I feel like as a staff, we did a really good job. Ricky Cicconi's our GM, and we're constantly out here evaluating players. What are position groups that are having success? What are groups that maybe lack depth, or what need to grow into their own, and then planning for the future. And when you have a great staff that kind of sees things the same way, it makes it a little easier.
I talked to Jake, your wide receivers coach, and he's got a cousin that came along from
Yeah.
South Dakota. Obviously, you and a whole bunch of people have come. What has that transition been like? I mean, have you helped some of those guys come here to Pullman? Has that been a part of the whole process of coming here to Pullman, or is it like everybody kind of does their own thing? Because I thought it was cool that Jake has a cousin on the staff that they're like, yeah, we made sure to figure out where we're going to live and how we're going to get here to a brand new place.
Yeah, I think, well, I didn't help anybody move. I had my own things going with trying to connect to a team. But overall, I brought the staff from South Dakota State, who Jake is referring to as our safeties coach, Pete Menage. Mike Banks is our corners coach. Marcus Banks is the assistant strength coach. Taylor Lucas is our offensive line coach, and his brother Andy works in our recruiting department. So when we say family, I don't know if there's a better example of not just those things, but also just being able to come out to a practice and you see a lot of wives out here with our little kids running around and trying to make sure that as much time that we spend with our players, our own kids get to see who we're spending our time with, but also our players are able to see us as fathers and husbands, and those things are important to me.
Just from getting to interview you and getting to know you through a few practices, you're a family guy and you're all about football.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about why Washington State, why Pullman. I mean, obviously it's tight-knit, but
Yeah.
just why?
Well, obviously this is a place that I grew up watching. It's been on, College game day. You see the old Crimson every single game day, and I grew up in Arizona going to ASU games and Pac-12 after dark, and all of those things were intriguing to me. I just felt like this is a great fit for me, and a new challenge in my life to try to chase the ultimate goal, which was winning a championship at the highest of levels. I think that's what everybody should reach for, is just continuing to grow and not get satisfied in the current role. And it doesn't mean that the current role wasn't a blessing in my life. I love South Dakota State and my experience there. It was just time. It was 18 years of my life there. I spent more time there than I had, growing up in Chandler, Arizona. So it was an opportunity I felt like I couldn't turn down, and I'm glad that I accepted the position. It's been a challenge for sure. None of this has been easy. Talking about 74 different people in a new environment and trying to understand the university to be able to recruit to it and get to know it. So many new faces, but I think the challenge has been, invigorating to me and has given me new life on just a new journey and trying to have success here.
My last question for you, from a Cougars fan's perspective, they've seen how many coaches come and go through here and there, and I guess my question to you is this isn't a stepping stone for you. This is a job that you wanted. This is a job that you thought you could bring your family into. I mean, I guess my question as a Coug fan perspective, are you here for the long haul?
Yeah, for me, I'm really focused on the job I have to do right now. I've never taken a job with the thought process that I'm looking for the next one, and I've turned down jobs because that was the message from the head coach. And it's not about this one, it's about the next one, and I've turned down those because I just don't believe in it. I think if you're not where your feet are at, you're not focused on the current moment and the state of where you're at, you're going to fail. And so for me, it's been about how do I grow this football team, the level of consistency in which it's going to take to have success, and being where I'm at and trying to live my life one day at a time and to be present, not just to this football team, but to my family. And that's hard. But yeah, I'm not like that. I get asked all the time, what's the most important game of the season? And I would say that the first one that you play. And that will be who I am the whole time here. I wouldn't say just UW, although I know that's how important that is and how passionate people are about that. But we come out and lay an egg against Idaho, that will be the only game that matters, right? So my focus is on trying to get this team competitive, to have the right habits, to have success, and do things the right way and live one game at a time, going 1-0 every week.